My typeface of choice is Beowulf. I chose this type because it has an interesting history, and it also kind of turns some core assumptions about typography on its head. For example, one of these being that type should be stable and easily readable. So Beowulf was created in 1989 by two designers, Just van Rossum and Eric van Blokland. These two were also programmers and had a passion for letter forms and code. And at the time, digital typography was still pretty young. But these programmers had like only a few rigid options. And these two asked, what if they like introduced some intentional randomness and a more fun or wacky type face? And they were kind of like the pioneers in bringing non-rigid typography to the digital space. Here's the stylescape for the Beowulf typeface. As you can see here, it is a digital typeface and it has variable dimensions. The way they coded it is there was a command that would get the script to have a bit of a variance in terms of the edges that would get kind of erased out or not, depending on how you were using it. And then here's one example of this typeface being used in the New York Times, actually. And it created quite a lot of discussion when it was originally used. And here's a comment by Eric Spikerman from the Wired magazine in 1995. He said that you guys made the first random typeface called Beowulf by replacing the commands linto and curvetto in the PostScript code with your own command called freakto. And the new command basically calls up a random generator to make the character outlines irregular. And then when originally there was a bit of a debate where they're like trying to prove something, or was this like some kind of joke? Um, and then later on, actually, in its evolution, the original randomizing behavior no longer worked in more modern machines because modern fonts actually have like certain restrictions placed on them for like security reasons. However, I really think that Beowulf was kind of like the first of its time. Um, and its spirit kind of does live on. This joke, as Eric Spikerman called it, it kind of ended up being more than just a joke. It kind of uh, ended up being more like an expression of creativity and using like non-uniform fonts. Um, and it sparked this inspiration for all these other non-uniform fonts, lots of crazy and wacky fonts that like have so much like emotion kind of packed into it. So final thoughts. Beowulf was kind of like the first font that got us thinking about like using fonts in a generative and like a more interactive way. And I chose Beowulf for my project due to how it's the first thing that kind of like challenged the status quo with type, at least in the digital space, and kind of made designers think about type in ways previously not really approached. And it can be interesting to think about type in a more like transformative way, and how rather than just thinking about like the readability of type in digital places, perhaps type can have like other aesthetics kind of attributed to it as well, to like show emotion or convey some sort of meaning. All right, thank you.